Old people, running people, airplanes, tall things, things you can get stuck in, loud things, screaming, crying, people with bad teeth, bags without owners, shoes without owners, children without parents, ringing things, smoking things, people eating meat, people looking up, towers, tunnels, speeding things, loud things, things with lights, things with wings. Bridges make me especially panicky.
When 11-year-old Oscar's father dies in the World Trade Center on that senseless, tragic day, he loses not just a parent, but the only person who truly understood him. For Oscar is a weird kid, highly intelligent yet socially stunted, giving to sprouting apocryphal factoids and occasional bursts of verbal diarrhea in his struggle to explain his fearful perception of the world around him. He carries and shakes a tambourine to help keep him calm in times of stress, and he has no friends to speak of. So it comes as no surprise when Oscar reveals that he once got tested to see if I've got Asperger's disease, although the tests weren't definitive. Oscar's beloved father used to send him cryptic treasure hunt puzzles to encourage the boy's mental agility and to make him get out and meet people. When Oscar finds a key hidden in his father's belongings a year after the tragedy, he becomes convinced that this was his dad's final puzzle, and so sets out on a quest to find the lock that the key fits. As a lover of films about creepy kids and dysfunctional families, the premise of Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close resonates clearly with me with another weird boy called Oscar, who also witnessed historical tragedy and carried a percussive instrument in Volker Schlondorff's adaptation of Gunter Grass's The Tin Drum. But while both productions caused a fierce division of opinion amongst critics, and both demand their fair share of belief suspension from the audience, Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close is a very different sort of film. Schlondorff's Oscar was clearly an allegory of childhood trauma. Oscar Schnell, as played by Thomas Horn, is a remarkably lifelike depiction of a child on the autistic spectrum who is trying to cope with overpowering grief and, as we discover, guilt. This is a demanding part to play. It demands a deep understanding of the troubled boy's psyche to bring it off with anything approaching credibility. Thomas's portrayal is outstanding, at times scarily so. The empathy and maturity he brings to the subtle nuances between rage, desperation and determination are incredible. It's hard to believe that he had no previous acting experience. In fact, his casting was fortuitous. During the auditions, the production team spotted him taking part in, and ultimately winning, the kids' version of the TV quiz show Jeopardy! Seeing his potential, they invited him to try out for the part, and in what sounds like something from a contrived Disney plot, they found just the boy they were looking for. Of course, Thomas doesn't carry the film on his own. The newcomer is ably supported by a strong and experienced cast who deliver beyond expectations. Tom Hanks is excellent as Oscar's father, and Sandra Bullock as his mother handles the difficult role well. Of all the characters, hers is perhaps the least credible, but she smooths over the cracks in the plot with notable skill.
I miss so many things about him.
It's Max von Sydow who steals the adult show, though, as the mysterious mute lodger, striking a memorable balance between sinister and kindly. Stephen Daldry's direction shines throughout. There were times when Oscar reminded me of Jamie Bell in Billy Elliot, and there are several parallels. That was Bell's first film at a similar age, and both characters are driven by determination in the face of insurmountable odds. And it's good to see that Daldry hasn't lost his touch when it comes to directing inexperienced but talented child actors. Eric Roth's screenplay of Jonathan Stephen Foer's story is more complex than it appears on the surface. Just when you think you've spotted the punchline, it culminates in a series of shamanistic plot twists and faux fans. In fact, I feel that the narrative quality here puts even M. Night's best efforts to shame. His twists can chill the spine, but these twists even wrench the heart of this seasoned cinematic critic. Make sure you've got a hanky handy. There is an unfortunate and unnecessary veering towards tear-jerk Hollywood schmaltz at the end, but I found the strength of delivery made it, if not quite inevitable, then at least forgivable. Many critics panned this film, their main concern being that Oscar is simply not likeable enough, if at all. And sure, he can be intensely annoying. He does have tantrums and swear at people. He is hurtful and heartless towards his devoted mother. But I find it hard to see how anyone can fail to melt when the reason underpinning his behaviour is finally revealed. Personally, I found Oscar adorable, but then bridges make me especially panicky too.